Forget everything you've been told about tapering. Turns out the best way to peak on race day is to run a flat-out marathon the week before. Just 7 days after Gold Coast, this carthorse somehow dropped his best 10k ever. The magic of supercompensation, eh? And this wasn't just any race. It was a rematch with my old nemesis from the Wings for Life Ultra, Joe Fukuda. He took the title last time, but today I'm out for revenge. But first, let's recap. So the day after Gold Coast Marathon, where I ran a 2:19, I had the usual debilitating DOMs in both thunder thighs. But while I'd usually get to savour this stabbing pain for at least a couple weeks, I had a miracle turnaround, and within a couple days, I was back to my old ways, pounding pavements and munching miles. So since the marathon, my legs have been recovering extraordinarily well. It's now Thursday, and I've no longer got that crippling pain on every step, which is usually at least a week, and I'm back up to some actual decent running. I'm going for a little track session tonight. I'm joining a crew in Australia, but I should be able to get a nice bit of speeding. So I'm thinking with this 10k on Sunday, I probably need to get the legs turning a little bit, so I'm not just in pure carthorse mode. But at the moment, I'm just chilling in this Airbnb here in Sydney. So we've done a little bit of exploring. I realised I've had no time to actually film anything because it's kind of a holiday, but at the same time I'm trying to get the race vid out. So it's always an insane struggle to try and get that edited out in time. But hopefully as you're watching this, I successfully managed to do that. But let's go and rip a few quick 1Ks on the track. My worst nightmare. But you know what? This ended up being an absolute blinder. Actually, my fastest session ever, just 3 days after the marathon. I guess this is a foreshadowing of things to come. I was helped out by the cold weather and actually having a group to pull me round. Shout out the run crew, instead of my usual lonely solo sessions. But I knocked out 6 by K in 2:55 down to 2:49. Jeez! Things are shaping up very nicely for this 10k race. Now, one of the big things I've been focusing on in Australia is the iron. I'm battling anemia at the moment and realised how little red meat I have when I'm back in Japan. So I've been smashing the daily steaks and burgers while I'm out here, and maybe that's making all the difference. Snack to Outback segment for today. We're going for the iron-rich foods. We've had red meat pretty much every day, and today we're going for the roux. First taste of kangaroo meat. Let's give it a go. This is a kangaroo skewer. What was it mixed with?
Herbs and garlic.
Herbs and garlic. Oh, yeah, it's good.
Actually pretty good.
Really good.
Absolute ripper.
Absolute ripper, mate.
Put another one on the barbie.
No, I think so. What are you giving it on your Snack to Outback score?
I'm giving it about 8.3.
The Aussie roux, an 8.3. I'm giving this bad boy an 8.7. That is unbelievable stuff. And I can feel the anemia leaving my body as we speak. I'm cured. So with a belly full of roux, it was time to bounce. So that wraps up the Sydney leg of the trip. Now on to Melbourne to explore some more Scran and I guess get a little 10k race in. We'll see you there. Big fan of Sydney. The city delivered on all fronts. The weather, the Scran, the running routes, the people, it had it all. I'll be back for sure. Sydney Marathon next year? It's got potential. Now on arrival in Melbourne, we kick things off with a classic, a food tour, because there's really no better way to explore a new place. The highlight of this one was the banh mi. It's a Vietnamese baguette, absolute banger. If you've never tried one before, then you've got to get on that. Then it was on to an Aussie rules game, because we're basically locals at this point, before hitting the sack to bring on race day. But just quickly before we do, I want to address a couple comments I've seen on some recent videos because I try and keep this channel as transparent as possible. But I've seen a couple people crying about there being sponsors on my videos and saying they're no longer going to be watching because of that. And I know that 99% of my viewers have common sense, but let me just spell it out, make it very clear. So until a few months ago, I was on that Daiwa scholarship program, so I was being funded to live out here, and I didn't have to rely on a job or anything to get by. But now, obviously, since that program's ended, I am full-time with YouTube and running. So I'm trying to make a living while pursuing this running dream to try and get as good as possible, putting in 30 hours a week of training. And I'm actually now paying an editor to work with me, help take off some of the workload so I can have time to focus fully on the running. And instead of putting 20 hours into YouTube videos, maybe I only have to put 10 now. So that's thanks to having my editor on board. But you realize that now I'm paying him, if I don't take a sponsor on these YouTube videos, I actually end up losing money. So just to be clear, for the people commenting saying they want these videos to be completely ad-free, you want me to work all throughout the week grinding out these videos and actually lose money in the process. Yeah, sounds like a genius business idea, that. And you realize that every single sponsorship I've taken, whether it's nutrition stuff, gear, clothing, all of that, is genuinely stuff that I use every single day to help my running or just with my daily life. So whether I'm getting paid or not for those products, it's still completely authentic as to my actual lifestyle. And that's all I'm doing with this YouTube channel, keeping it 100% real with you guys. So I hope that just clears things up for people. And if after all of this, you've still got such a problem with a few seconds of sponsor during a video, then please do yourself a favor. Sayonara, you will not be missed. Now back to Melbourne for the race, and just to be clear, this next section is not a sponsor. So I'm testing out the Morton bicarb for the first time today. Everyone seems to be on the bicarb hype, like all the shorter distances, I think kind of 800 to maybe 10K or so, half marathon, everyone seems to be using this. Since I got this 10K today, that is pure speed for me. So I'm thinking I need every little help I can get, and maybe this is the key. It's meant to buffer lactic acid, but apparently it tastes pretty grim. So we'll try and gulp this down and hopefully it sits right on the stomach. Oh, it doesn't taste too bad. I mean, it wouldn't be that high on the Scran to Japan scale, but I can happily get this down. Right, sub 30 10K, let's go. So it's a cold, windy morning in Melbourne, very reminiscent of back home actually, but I'm just strolling over to the start now. Feeling a little bit tired, but hopefully once you get stuck in, a bit of that caffeine kicks in as well, we'll be good to go. And I saw last year this race was won in just under 30 minutes. I've no idea how quick the course is. I think there might be a few little ups and downs and stuff, but I guess that's got to be the target. Try and take the win, maybe dip under that 30 barrier. 1 week after a marathon, that would be a pretty solid shift, I reckon. And there's no better way to explore a new city than to cruise around it and pound some pavements. But as the race drew nearer, the conditions were looking less and less favourable. Yeah, I don't think there's going to be a quick time on the cards. I don't know if you can tell, but it is ridiculously windy. Going to be absolutely battling the elements out there. Going to need a solid group, just tuck in, do no work, use and abuse. That has to be the race tactic today. Then it was time to hit the warm-up, and whenever I'm easy running solo like this, I'll always whack a podcast on to kill the time. Now I'm buzzing to have finally secured that elusive Shocks endorsement whose headphones I've been rocking since day one. Actually, if you scroll back to the first ever video on this channel, you'll see me equipped with a cheeky red pair of these auditory weapons. God, look at this guy, laying the foundations for a sponsorship from the start. What a beg. But what makes Shocks a game changer is that they're open ear headphones, so you can be listening to music or podcasts while still fully aware of what's going on around you. Especially for me living in Tokyo, it's absolutely lethal trying to pound the pavements when you've got 50 million other people also wandering the streets. So with these, I can stay switched on and ready to pull out some quick parkour if needed. I've now upgraded to the Shocks Open Run Pro 2, which has even better sound quality and lasts for 12 hours of playtime. So they really are the cart horse of the headphones game and can easily match me on any of my long runs. So if you want to get a pair yourself, then I can treat you to a 10 quid discount off their website with the code RANTOJAPAN. So remember guys, train harder, but listen smarter. Now over to the start line. Now I'd accidentally been put in the wrong wave, so I was meant to be starting way back, which could have been a nightmare just weaving through at the start, but shout out Sam Hopper from Asics, who managed to convince the security to let me through, and so I've got a place on the start line, and just like that, we're off.
3, 2, 1, go!
So we start on a nice big uphill, and I thought I'd just take it easy, see where the packs form. If anyone wants to take it on, I'll happily sit behind them. But it just felt like it was moving so slowly at the start that I got impatient and ended up hitting the front within about 200 meters. And I could hear a couple guys breathing down my neck, just jumping on the train, because at this point, yeah, I basically became the pacemaker. I saw the bikes up ahead. I thought we might as well just pick up. There's no point jogging around here. My legs seemed to be feeling right, so I started to cut it down towards that 3-minute K mark, which would be a 30-minute 10K. And obviously the aim is to dip under that, and of course, take the dub if I can. Now I ticked off a 3-minute K for the first one, and I could hear one guy behind me. Didn't have a clue who it was though. But let's just say it was a big dog right on my heels, which I found out midway through the race.
Well done, Jadester. Got a sweet treat at the end for you.
And there goes my dad enticing me with a pastry that he'd bought. That's the only real race motivation I need. And I was feeling phenomenal at this point. Couldn't believe how fresh the legs were after Gold Coast. And I started just ramping it up a little bit, dropping those sub 3 minute Ks. And within 2K, I could hear I had clear distance. No one was on me anymore.
And there's a lot of half marathon runners still on the course. You can probably just see him coming. Here he comes. Well done, Jake. Lovely. Well done, solo.
But at this point, it started to become clear that the real challenge of the race would actually be navigating the course because, geez, this was some interesting management, to say the least. They decided to put the half marathon on before this on the exact same course that we're looping in and out of, and it just got worse and worse, as you'll see throughout. Now, watching back this footage, I cannot believe how powerful I looked. This is the best I've ever looked in a race, and it felt it at the time. I just had so much pop in my legs. Let's compare it to some footage from Gold Coast just 1 week before this, and obviously I'm running a slower pace, but I just look a little heavy, like I'm fighting the tarmac, whereas here I'm absolutely pounding it, just riding through. And I hit halfway in 14:50, so on track for that sub 30, but there was a fair few hills and stuff coming up, so I knew it was gonna get tricky in that second half.
10K, you're turning around, you're turning around.
Where? I hit.
Turn around. Please let it come and keep back.
And it was on one of these switchbacks that I suddenly clocked, hang on, who's that runner in second? What the bloody hell is Joe Fukuda doing in Melbourne? Now, as a quick reminder who Joe is, let's throw it back to my first ever ultra race, the Wings for Life World Run, where we ended up doing battle.
There is Barraclough, the British racer. He's out of the chase for top position. Jake Barraclough will have to settle for third spot and second in Japan. We have a new champion. We have a new world record. And that is amazing from Joe Fukuda.
So I was very surprised to see him randomly here. And that was even more motivation. I needed to get revenge after he put me away in that ultra race. Now it was around the 6 or 7K point when I started to realise, yeah, this was going to get dangerous. There was just way too many bodies on the course and it was starting to narrow as well, so the bike was just screaming out constantly like... Now at this point, it seemed like there was almost a Ran to Japan cheer zone. It was crazy. I had like 5 different videos, all the angles, and some huge cheers. So I had to give the people a fist pump as I cruised by.
Let's go!
Let's go Ran to Japan! Let's go, man!
Now I realised at 8K, this was probably the best I'd ever felt in a race, and I could probably cut this down to drop a PB here. Even though I was on my own, hilly course in the wind, this was still my best ever day. Until it got to the point where I was actually having to stop because of the bodies. I'll let this bit play out.
Excuse me.
Let him go! Let him go!
Sorry.
So I've literally had to push my way past 2 bikes, a motorbike, and all the half marathon runners. And I'm now completely on my own, ducking and weaving. It turned into a rugby game at this point. Luckily, my under 13 county rugby skills kicked in, and I was goose stepping my way through the crowds, but geez, the adrenaline was absolutely pumping. And I was racing on pure anger at this point because all I wanted was a clear run. I felt so good, but I was just being slowed down so much by the chaos going on around me.
Excuse me, I'm coming.
And as you can hear, the bikers, they're doing their best job. They're shouting at everyone, but it's just doing nothing. So it's not the other runners' fault, it's just some very unusual race planning and course management. I didn't realise when I entered, but I guess this is seen as more of a fun run. And watching back this footage, yeah, you can clearly see why.
I need a gap.
So it's just a shame that it happened to be when I was feeling my absolute best, that it was on this kind of course. And as you see me coming to the finish here, I just missed out on a PB.
29:36, not quite a PB, but bloody good.
So I had to try my absolute hardest in this post-race interview to hold it together and not just start slagging off the race. Serious marathon monk mode needed here.
Jake, how are you feeling?
Oh yeah, a bit tired. It was more of a game of rugby, trying to dodge through the crowd. Absolutely lethal. So yeah, the running was good fun. The physical element was a challenge. But nah, it was a great event. Yeah, great fun out there.
Well, congratulations this morning, Essex Run Melbourne, winner of the 10K.
So Joe Fukuda ended up getting second in 31 minutes. He was actually on holiday at the moment, kind of cruising, so he wasn't taking it all out. More of a chill training effort. But you know what, I've got to take it. It's 1-1 now on the scoreboard. And we're going to have to settle the trilogy soon at some point. But for him now, he's focused on August, the 100K world record attempt. He's going to try and be the first guy ever to break the 6-hour barrier, which I'm not going to lie, is something that I've had in the back of my mind. So who knows, maybe in the future we'll meet in a 100K race. But until then, good luck to Joe, and I'm sure he's going to absolutely annihilate it. But for me, I'll be savouring this 10K victory and just how good I felt. That's the most important thing. The time's irrelevant. It's how fresh and fast I felt after Gold Coast. It seems like things are massively turning around. And I'm excited to get a huge summer under my belt and then try and rip some proper 10K half marathon races back in Japan. So follow along to that journey right here on the Run to Japan channel. I will catch you in the next one. This has been Jake. Until next time, train harder, not smarter.